Hi, welcome to another Revenue Hub video series. Following the success of our AI series in the summer, please do check it out if you haven't seen them yet, we decided it would be great to get our expert partners' views once more. In the spirit of this time of year, we've asked them to predict what 2026 might have in store for the hotel industry. Now, through these videos, we are not inundating you with please subscribe and please like requests. You guys know what to do. But we would be interested to hear your thoughts on the predictions. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are your predictions? Anyway, hope you enjoy it, and thanks again to our expert partners for taking part. Let's see what their predictions are. Hey, thanks for joining us today on our 2026 Crystal Ball Predictions video series. How are things for you? You well?
Very good, thank you very much. Yes, very good. Yourself?
Yeah, very good indeed. Great to have you join us. Looking forward to hearing what you have to predict. It's always interesting whenever I talk to you, so I'm sure this won't disappoint. There we go. I've set the bar quite high now, haven't I?
Yeah, I'm always crap at these predictions. This is the problem.
well,
Um,
that's
it-
well, that's why they're so much fun, because no one knows what's going to happen, as we've seen this year. So we may as well just lean into it.
yeah, indeed. Yeah, no, I often think, oh yeah, yeah, I can see that happening, and then it's just the exact total opposite. There's too many factors.
Well,
Uh,
we'll get into our 2026, and then we'll make a diary note to come back next year, see how we
no,
got
please
on,
don't.
and look at 2027.
Please don't. No, no, please. We'll delete this around March. That'll be
Yeah,
fine.
exactly. No, can't find it. Right. Okay, let's get into it then. So, prediction number one for 2026. What have you got for us?
Aliens will take up. No, I'm joking. So no, my first prediction, fairly safe, but with a little bit of a twist towards the end, I think here is that Google will push a lot more prominently and a lot more heavily into the AI tools for their search and their paid for media. Um, not not terribly startling here. So we're talking like PMax, AI Max, things like that. They're already PMax, especially, is a well-established product, but and they've been pushed to varying different degrees. But Google has said that they're trying to do a gently approach. I think they've pushed quite hard previously with PMax and got a lot of resistance from the industry. They're trying to do a gently approach and have promised that they're not going to push it too much. I think they'll probably end up reversing that decision.
Well, you're using the word push rather than promote, which is a very a very different emphasis. So, you think this is going to be more of a forced
Yes.
activity? What? Why?
Well, so Google, unfortunately, in my experience and the agency experience that we've had in many different iterations, is that Google tends to, once it has an agenda, find ways to persuade you to use it, which is, withholding various things, or you won't get access to this if you don't do this. You'll only be able to get this if you use this. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's their platform. Google Ads is their biggest money maker. They can make whatever decisions that they want. And let's be honest, it's the same with SEO. Whenever they make a change, it's not consulted with the industry. Not even It's not even told to the industry in many cases when a change is made to the algorithm. It's this has happened. This is our product. Like it alone. It is. It's our update. Yeah, yeah. And I get why they're doing it. I understand. But it is very autocratic, shall we say? So I do think that they will push and force the use of some of these tools more upon us in 2026, probably in response to the change in the AI wars.
So, what do you see? I mean, you're the expert in this, hence why you're talking about it. I'm not. So, if I'm a hotelier and I'm either handling it myself, or I've got somebody like you guys handling my digital marketing for me, what is the implication of that shift that you feel is going to happen?
It's an interesting question. I think a lot of it comes down to brand control. With a lot of these products that we use or trial or test with Google, is that we are handing more and more control over to Google's algorithms. So you're looking at um, uh, keywordless searches, i.e., you're not putting in the keywords. Oh, I want these keywords. Go and bid for them. Google's basically saying you're no longer no longer responsible for that because you're no longer capable of understanding the shifts that are happening in search. So we built an algorithm that will do it for you. Same goes with the ad that you put out and the branding. Um, Google has long believed that most people's websites are not as up to date as they would like. Well, clearly, because there's other things that are happening in the world of business. But when the world of business for Google is your website, they're trying to find ways for those websites to be more and more relevant. So they're taking the responsibility off you. You know, they're directing searches to a URL on your page that they think is more relevant up the search rather than where you want them to go purchase. Yeah, so there's lots of little things like this. And again, it also comes with the same with the ad. Um, in many cases with these algorithms, they're going on your website, they're searching the website, they're searching other areas, and then they're putting forward what they think you want a user to see in order to make them make a purchase. Now that might not, and in many cases doesn't fit within your brand guidelines. It doesn't fit within the control that you've got. And I think this is where a lot of the danger comes, especially in the hotel industry, where brand is such a huge factor, plays a huge part. As do many other industries, but I feel like it seems to be more intrinsically linked to the identity of the hotel industry. There's a real danger there that we're giving control to the great Google gods.
Haven't we done that already?
Yeah, incrementally, yes,
But
we have no choice. We've been persuaded to do so.
yes, we've been persuaded, but it could start costing us more, I'm guessing, as well.
Um, well, yeah, costing us in terms of brand equity. Who knows around the actual costs
What the price point will
themselves?
be, yeah.
Actually, no, that's not true. I mean, that's not even a prediction. Google puts the costs up every single year. We know this. So, but what we have seen evidence where we've done tests in PMAX, where we've actually seen brand terms being cheaper in PMAX than in your own campaigns. Um, and now that's not to say that is a rule across the board. And I actually think it's Google gaming their own system to make it more efficient. Yeah, well, the rules say that PMAX won't replace a manual or self-built campaign that you've got there in place, unless, and it then lists a whole load of situations where it will do it, which is virtually every single time, because it says if the quality score of your ads and your account is better in PMAX than it is in the one that you built manually, then it will use the PMAX one. But given that PMAX is being written to adhere to every single quality standard, and it's actually quite difficult to do that every single time and fit with brand guidelines when you're doing it manually, PMAX is always going to win. So I think there's an element of saying, oh, well, we're always winning, and we're also cheaper, and they try to game the system, so it's got a better return on ad spend, right? And that is purely I'm going to have to say this for legal reasons, purely my own opinion.
Yes.
I've got no evidence that Google are actually doing that, other than
Yep.
the fact that it's cheaper every now and
Okay, interesting. Well, we'll watch out for PMAX and AI. How's AI Max different to PMAX? Just very quickly.
Really, it's a good question. So it's a broader and more expansive use of search and different and other channels as well within the Google Ads campaign. It takes PMAX to perhaps another level in terms of Google's eyes.
Okay.
I could probably take up the next hour going through the differences
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. No,
talking a
good.
lot more. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a bit more expansive. Being perfectly honest with you, I mean AI Max, in my opinion, is probably better suited, and PMax as well. But AI Max more suited to large e-commerce when you've got
Okay.
lots and lots of products. I think that's where really
That's where they're really
Really good. I've not used it in that industry. It's been a long while since I've been in e-commerce, but from what I'm seeing from other professionals in my industry doing that, that's where they're tending to use it a little bit more, and it becomes a sledgehammer to crack a nut in the hotel industry, in my opinion.
Okay, cool. Prediction number 2. What do you got for us?
Well, this is quite topical because it's only relatively recent, in that Sam Altman at OpenAI mentioned that we're going to be able to book a hotel room with one click through the ChatGPT products that are out there. So, whether it's the new search engine or directly through ChatGPT. Who knows exactly how they're going to do it in the future. But my prediction here is that there is going to be a big flurry in Q1, Q2 maybe of 2026 of ChatGPT pushing into the travel industry, and then a very rapid retreat and regression when they realise that they're not going to be able to crack that nut in quite the way that they probably intimated that it's going to be.
Okay, so explain that.
So
I get the first quarter bit, like where
yeah,
there'll be this flurry.
yes.
I'm interested in the okay, but you don't feel it will be achievable.
No, if it was achievable, it probably would have been done by now. And that's not to say that a disruptor or a new, visionary or a new business can come in and change things. But I just don't see it being ChatGPT and OpenAI. That's for me. The reason for that is the fragmentation of the industry. So what are they going to be? Are they going to be a direct channel? So where are they going to get all of their ARI data from? So are they going to build a connection or a way of getting information directly from every single PMS on the planet? No, that's they haven't got the resources to be able to do that. That then leaves the option of, well, do they get that feed from somewhere else? In which case they just become another OTA. I mean, maybe that's what they want to do. Maybe that's their answer. Yeah, maybe that is the answer. Maybe maybe that's what they're seeing, and the translation is from somebody who doesn't know the hotel industry to a consumer market who doesn't care about where they get the booking information from, just as long as they're making it on the right channel and it's the cheapest price. Um, maybe it is that simplistic, and they're going to become another OTA, which will open up an interesting question of then where does ChatGPT sit in the hotel management structure? Does it sit on revenue side or does it sit on sales and marketing side? Because at the moment OTAs tend to sit more on revenue, and then your direct channel sits with sales and marketing, internal sales and marketing. Well, this one will kind of sit in both camps. It'll be an interesting one if they were to go down that route and become another OTA.
It'll also be interesting to see how the EU respond with their digital marketing directives and how they're dealing with Booking.com at the moment, and Google, and how they're presenting their search results, and whether they would be designated as a significant player. So they haven't even got their heads around the whole ChatGPT AI search aspect yet. Okay, prediction number 3.
Oh, this is going to be a slightly controversial one and a little clickbaity, but there we go. The death of AI, brackets hype. So I think I think the hype around AI is starting to wane already, but I think 2026 is the year where it becomes quite dangerously close to becoming almost apathetic towards AI. We've seen it before. There's been lots of buzzwords where people are using, whatever it would be, and there'll be a quick flurry and everybody's doing it, and then it'll slowly die out. And in some cases, we've seen those buzzwords turn to a negative. I don't think AI has got to that point, or is even close to becoming a negative at this moment. But there's only so far that you can go with the wow factor. Right now, AI is growing at a phenomenal rate, and if you're in the AI world and you're constantly keeping aware of it, it's almost daily. the wow factor that's happening, but it's across a broad spectrum. And people don't live in a broad spectrum. They live in their own little worlds. I said not their little worlds, but they live in their own segment of the world, and they're only interested in very specific things. Like I'm a digital marketer, but I'm really only interested in hotel digital marketing. So that's a niche within a niche. Um, so people start talking to me about e-commerce or Amazon marketing or whatever it would be. I'm not overly interested in it because there isn't a route to sell a hotel room direct
Yes.
through either of those
Yep.
those channels or methods.
Yep.
So I'll keep an eye on
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
But
you keep it because I mean it interests you, so you kind of
yeah,
keep abreast of the developments. But then when you're looking at, okay, what does this actually mean to me day to day, and where am I going to expend any energy? It needs to be related into that hotel marketing space.
exactly. Yeah. And I think, while something wow can happen over here with Amazon marketing, I'm like, well, that's really interesting. Well done, guys. Great job. But that's all you're gonna get. You're gonna get nothing more than a crisp high five, and then I'll be moving on with my day to day. Yeah, and that's the danger with AI, specifically in the hotel industry as well. I think the rate of adoption and the rate of general day-to-day use that AI has is a lot slower than the rate that AI is growing in terms of new wow factors and things across a broad spectrum. So there is a danger here that if there isn't the adoption rate at the same level, then people lose that wow factor and become a little bit apathetic. So I think the AI hype will start to wane somewhat in 2026. The big litmus test of this will be, when you go to the trade shows and you see how many people are talking about AI still, and more importantly, what they're talking about and how they're presenting that to the audience.
Yeah.
If they're still talking about AI will,
Yes.
people are going to say, well, AI when?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a bit more
Because I mean,
gray.
it's been what 2 years since Chat GPT landed and caused all that.
It's
Oh my goodness,
probably a little bit longer. I don't know.
is it really? Yeah.
I'm getting too old to remember.
But at
But
least
yeah,
two, or around that
yeah,
two, if not a little bit more. So, and
yeah,
we're still in that. And maybe that's why, to your second prediction, maybe that's why this whole booking direct straight
the-
in is as something else to keep the conversation going about AI from ChatGPT and Sam Altman's perspective, at least,
yeah.
to keep that conversation going for a number of months into 2026.
Exactly. Yeah, and you know, which is not a bad thing.
No,
If it's still being useful,
yeah,
which is exactly where you want it to be. But there is a tremendously large amount of money that's been invested into this industry, into the AI industry, and there is very much I alluded to it before. There's very much a battle going on for who's going to win, who's going to be the Google of AI, and Google is involved in that war as well. It's still not determined, and many people make predictions on who's going to win, but you know, it's um, it's a crystal ball, isn't it? The slightest little thing can change this. Like OpenAI bringing out their own browser.
yeah.
That in itself is
Well, that's been spoken about for a little while now. I mean, is that still happening? I mean, is that
yeah, no, no,
another
it's out. It's
will or
out. They've created it. It is out. It's available. But for me, there's always been people bringing out browsers to challenge Google, but I've never felt that they've been big enough or had the momentum to get mass adoption. Whereas I don't know, it feels a little bit different with OpenAI because they've come in with something a bit different. There's been a lot more hype around it, certainly with AI, but it does feel a little bit different. So, and that for me is where it becomes very, very difficult to predict exactly how it is. It may well be that Google does win, but it might not be that clear win that they did with with the search engine wars, going back however long it was. I can't remember 2 years. I definitely not remember when that was. But because I was there, I remember it all. Just can't remember when. I'm not very good with the dates. But yeah, it's different. It's also much more accelerated. It's a lot faster. The time it took, because the internet was such a new thing back then, it's now sped up because the internet exists. The ability to get information out to a worldwide global audience very quickly exists, where it wasn't quite as evolved and mature as it was then. So these wars are happening at hyper speed. I remember the first dot-com bubble, and that was nowhere near the size of this AI bubble at the moment. The level of investment is magnitudes of order bigger. So, again, all predictions are off. If there is a bubble burst, all predictions are off, because I think that has an impact, financially a lot across the globe, let alone just in the AI world. It will have a significant impact just from an investment point of view. So it'll be interesting times, I think, is the term to use.
That's why we wanted to get you on with your three predictions, and thank you for those.
No problem. And again, we'll be deleting this in March when every single prediction has been proven to be incorrect. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I'm going to diarize to come back to you in 2026 at the end of it and see how we get on. But
thanks for that, Trevor. Really appreciate that.
No, yeah. And I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Thanks so much.
No worries.
Take care. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found the predictions discussion interesting. If you'd like to see any of our videos from our Summer AI series, here is a link to that playlist. And if you've missed any of the other prediction videos, here is a link to that playlist. And finally, can I genuinely just thank you all for watching or listening to our content? It really is appreciated, and we look forward to bringing you more in 2026. Thanks so much. Take care.